So Dave Portnoy has placed a six-figure bet on the Indiana Fever to win the WNBA champion this season. If you guys don't know, Dave Portnoy is the owner of Barstool Sports. Betting on Caitlin Clark, Dave Portnoy placed a six-figure wager on WNBA star in the Indiana Fever. So Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are back in action for the first time in a month when they host the Phoenix Mercury at Gainsbourg Fieldhouse on Friday at 7:30 p.m. While the WNBA's newest star hasn't played since the league's All-Star game on July 20th, there might be some new added pressure on Clark and her teammates. Barstool Sports founder and well-known pizza mogul Dave Portnoy placed a $100K bet on Clark and the Fever to win the WNBA Finals this season at 100-to-1 odds at plus 10,000, with a potential payout north of $10 million. So Dave Portnoy has placed a $100K bet on the Indiana Fever to win the WNBA championship this season, which is honestly just mind-blowing and insane. Must have a lot of confidence on the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark to lead them to the WNBA championship this season. So this is Dave Portnoy on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is a top 3 player in the league, maybe the best. She got rest for the first time in a year. Aaliyah Boston and her chemistry grows every game. They start at 1-8 and they're 10-7 since, and they're improving. I had to do it. I mean, he is not wrong though. Caitlin Clark, this is her first time getting rest in over a year. And like I mentioned earlier in another video, Caitlin Clark said that she was mentally exhausted and fatigued. And the fact that Caitlin Clark has gotten a month break just to relax from basketball play is a scary sight, because now we're going to be seeing a well-rested Caitlin Clark coming into the WNBA in the second half of the season with 14 games left remaining. And Caitlin Clark trying to lead the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance in over 6 years. And these are currently the betting odds for the Indiana Fever to win the championship this season. As you guys can see, their odds are plus 3,000 right now just to win the championship this season. You honestly can't rule out the Indiana Fever of winning possibly the championship this season, because they do have Caitlin Clark, who was a top 3 player in the WNBA this season. And the fact that their whole team got rested, you honestly can't rule out of what the Indiana Fever can possibly do this season with Caitlin Clark. Because as we see what she did in college, she took her team to the championship. So why can't she do the same in the WNBA? If Caitlin Clark can honestly lead the Indiana Fever to a championship in her first year in the WNBA, she's honestly solidified as the greatest player in the WNBA. If she can do that, right now, we just want them to make the playoffs, honestly. As you guys see in the standing, they're the 7th seed right now, but they have 14 games left remaining in the season. So the goal right now is for them to make the playoffs, because the Indiana Fever have not made the playoff in over 6 years. So I honestly want them to make the playoff first, and let's honestly go from there. But I do think matchup is going to be the key in the playoffs for the Indiana Fever and who they're going to be facing in the first round and in the second round as well. So for the Indiana Fever to potentially get to win the championship this year, it's all going to come down to matchups in the playoffs and who they're going to be facing, honestly, because you can't rule out anything with the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, because she's a generational talent, and what she brings to the table is honestly just phenomenal and incredible. Like last season, the Indiana Fever only had 13 wins. This season, they're already at 11 wins with 14 games left remaining. Do you guys see that big turnaround just by adding Caitlin Clark? One person can change the way your team is going just like that. Like literally. And that is what Caitlin Clark is doing. So the fact that Dave Portnoy believes Caitlin Clark can lead the Indiana Fever to the championship, I mean, I'm with him. I honestly do believe Caitlin Clark can lead the Indiana Fever possibly a championship and possibly win it all, because that's honestly just how great she is. And it's good to see that other people are on board and believing in Caitlin Clark leading them, because she is a top 3 player in the WNBA currently. And I'm gonna have to agree with Dave Portnoy on this one. You guys might say, wow, it's crazy to think that, but it is a possibility. Like Team USA just beat France by 1 point. all those Hall of Famers and All-Stars on the team, if they would have had Caitlin Clark, it wouldn't even been that close. So I definitely see where he's coming from. And the Indiana Fever did have a 1 month long break, while a lot of other teams, All-Stars and Superstars, were playing on Team USA, so they should be fatigued for the rest of the season. While the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark will have fresh legs and be ready to come back and tear up the league for the next 14 games, and then we have a playoffs after that. So I'm honestly excited to see what the Indiana Fever are gonna do. And yeah, I'm with Dave Portnoy, man. Let's see if the Indiana Fever can win the championship this season. He believes it. What do you guys believe?